Are you thinking about moving to Winterville, North Carolina, the most popular suburb in the Greenville, North Carolina area?
Now, before you put that out, we fall in love with our town and you put in an offer, there are many things that we generally love about Winterville, North Carolina that you probably love, but let's talk about the 2 or 3 downsides that nobody's ever going to put in the listing.
Exactly. Therefore, today we are going to give you the honest pros and cons of living in Winterville, North Carolina, the real ones from someone who sells
and lives here.
And live here, Alan Victoria Pinder, it's just not about like a brochure of the tourism version that you see in online or a different website. And we are here to give you that honest opinion about pros and cons.
Because maybe Winterville is right for you, and maybe we should be looking at a different town for you, depending on what your needs and goals are. So that's what we're going to cover. What your money buys, the commute in the area, why everybody wants to move to Winterville, North Carolina, and the downsides that are not going to be there. And I know that's what you're waiting for, the downside. So let's start with the good, though, because good always wins over evil, at least in my world.
Exactly. Therefore, as we said, we're going to start with the goods. And Winterville, number one spot for actually people that relocating to Greenville, North Carolina area. The pro number one, as we said, and you probably already guessed it, is the location. And honestly, the whole ball game that where Winterville sits about 10 minutes south of Greenville, main commercial corridor, and the only about 15 minutes from ECU Health or the hospitals in Greenville, North Carolina, which is so you can get quieter, more spacious feel of the suburb in Greenville, North Carolina.
But you can still get to everything you need to, your job, the hospital, and everything that's happening in Greenville we can get to easy. Now, most people move here for work for Greenville, North Carolina area, and they understand they're coming for ECU Health or one of the other jobs, positions, and they understand that the single reason that they pick Winterville over smaller towns comes really quickly. So you see it, you want it, and that's why we chose Winterville too.
Exactly. The pro number two that it comes back to our specialty is really the new homes, the new construction. This is where Winterville actually...
And number 3 is resale, so I'll just
really separate itself. Right now, about 42% of everything for sale in Winterville was built in 2024 or later. You heard it correctly, 42%. Which means close to 50% of what we have in the market. No?
Which means you have wider streets, modern homes, sidewalks, walking paths. Some places are going to have community pools. And if you're looking for low maintenance, new construction is really where a lot of people go because you're not thinking about the roof, you're not thinking about the HVAC replacement, especially if the thing is 2 years. And in Winterville is that spot to find all of these things. So for busy people who want to work long shifts and they will not be home a lot, that brand new home will just kind of bring a lot of peace into your life. Now, number 3 that we're going to talk about is resale homes. Winterville is one of the fastest growing areas in Pitt County, even in this standstill of a market that we're in right now. But Winterville is still one of those growth areas because people want to be here. So there is over 100 active listings. A lot of it is new construction, as he just told you, 42%. But that means there is options when you're selling and buying a home here. And that demand is still there for Winterville. So you know it when it comes time to sell, because houses that are in high demand because people want to be in a certain area are always going to be growing and growing and growing.
Exactly. And pro number 4 that we want to talk about is, of course, the lifestyle. Winterville, in general, in North Carolina, is quieter, more spacious than the central of the Greenville. It hosts seasonal events. It's got a growing and small business community. It's actually a North Carolina certified retirement community, so it pulls retiree as well as the young professionals, because we don't want it to lose that young professionals that we love them to the area. And it's kind of place you get a lot of breathing room, but you are never far from any of the amenities that Greenville, North Carolina area offers to the residents.
I mean, we have chosen Winterville for all of these reasons and more. I love my house, I love my neighborhood, I love where I get to send my kids. I love my lifestyle right now. Now, but there are basically some cons, and that's why you waited all this time to hear about. So let's talk about that, because this is something that is not going to be in a highlight reel. These are the real ones, and not everybody is going to be me. Everybody is different. So number one is you are paying a higher price for being in Winterville. This is true.
Yeah.
Winterville is not the budget-friendly option. You want to talk a little bit more about that?
Exactly. Right now, the middle of the market sits around $355,000. No, and the listing runs all the way from the low. How much?
100 to the 700,000.
$700,000, and that median is higher than what you will paying for a smaller towns in Pitt County, North Carolina. For example, we can make an example of Aden, North Carolina, if you heard about it, either online in our video, Farmville, North Carolina, which are, some of them are few minutes further out of the Greenville or Winterville area. So if your budget is a little bit tight, we will be straight with you. You will get more houses for your money, one town, for example, over, like Aden, North Carolina. And basically, Winterville, North Carolina costs more because everybody that coming out of the state to here, they want it. And you're paying for that demand for this area.
Con number two is it is growing fast, and that growth can have a double-edged sword. It's amazing that we have all this new construction. I talked about it earlier, the benefits of new construction, but it also means if you're buying in a brand new construction community, you're going to breathe in dust. You're going to see detours. You're going to see road networks. You're going to have keep pace because they're building houses, and you're going to have to live with the building all around you. So trash is going to be flying. It's a part of the build. They do clean it up, but there's something called wind that lives in the universe. So their main corridors in Greenville and the Winterville, and then if you're stuck at a 7 a.m. or a 7 p.m. shift and there's some construction sites around, we have to think about those things in the short term as well. Now, will the construction end and then move on to a different community? Of course. But the fact is, you are going to have to deal, if you're buying in a brand new community where they are still actively building, you're going to have to see that, and you're going to have to live with the new builds.
Exactly. The con number 3 that I know that you're super excited about to hear that is still Winterville is a suburb, is not a destination. Meaning that most of people that live in Winterville commute into Greenville for their job, for dining out and their nightlife. And Winterville itself is quieter by design. So what you want it to be, for example, if you really want it to be walkable to downtown, with the breweries, restaurant right side outside of your door, or you're driving 10 minutes, you need to drive to 10 minutes to Greenville area. No?
Right, but I mean, people come here for the calm, not the action. So there's that, basically. Okay. Now, the fourth con is going to surprise people. A lot of beautiful new subdivisions, some come with pools, but they also come with HOAs, right? And this is something people like to talk about, but most new builds come with HOAs. This is not a deal breaker. Not all HOAs are bad. There's a lot of good reasons to have them in North Carolina, and I will give you one right now, and that is the water. We are in coastal Carolina. We want to make sure our water stays away. We're not in a flood zone, but we want to make sure that this is coastal Carolina. We want to make sure the water continues flowing to the canals, which then brings it to the ocean eventually. So we want to make sure the water, that's what our own HOA does. They just make sure they take care of the canal so there's no backup. So we want to make sure that it's not a deal breaker, but you want to make sure that it's something you're considering. So if you're someone who says, I need to have my chickens, well, and the HOA has a no chicken rule, well, then we have to talk about that. We have to define it for you.
Exactly. So, do you want to add anything?
No, basically, who is Winterville right for?
Okay, you should be looking hard at Winterville if you want something newer, because let's be honest, Winterville
I'm going to interrupt. I mentioned chickens because Winterville has a rule in the entire city of Winterville. You are not allowed to have any chickens in Winterville. No chicken coops in Winterville. You can have them in Aden, you can have them in Greenville, but you cannot have them in Winterville. That's something only a local would know, and since I mentioned chickens, I wanted to mention it. I'm sorry.
And you brought this chicken into the video.
I know, the chickens. We actually get people who want chickens.
Basically, as we said, if you are really one of people that you're relocated into Winterville, North Carolina, and you really loved the newness, because Winterville is much more newer than Greenville. Most of the houses in Winterville start really from 1998 all the way to 2026. Therefore, we are talking about 28 years here. Of course, this comes with the benefit of low maintenance and also easy commute. And still, you can go to any of the facilities, either for the university or the medical center at ECU, and it could be perfect for many of you.
Now, if maybe you are looking elsewhere, if the price is key thing and you want to stretch your dollar further, my own mom on her Social Security retirement chose to live in Grifton. She said to me specifically, I grew up in a country. I didn't grow up in a country, but she said, I grew up in a country. I can live in a country again, which is weird to me because, again, I only ever lived in a big city. But these were her words, and she chose Grifton. But maybe you want to go Aiden, maybe you want to go Farmville. Maybe you do want to be in that walkable area of Greenville. You know your life. You know who you are. So you can decide that better than I could ever decide because you live your life. I don't.
Therefore, really, there is no wrong answer here. It just depends on what is the best for you and your family. What is your first priority? Is the basically community? Is the commuting? Is the price? It is the lifestyle. This is your choice, and we are just giving you the honest opinion about different things that you need to know about the pros and cons of living in Winterville, North Carolina.
And if you are relocating to our area and you're trying to figure out whether Winterville might be right for you, we would literally love to help you because we help people all the time. We can do virtual tours, we can do walking tours. I love all of it. I love showing you around. So you need to tell, well, we know your budget, we know your commute, we know what kind of house it really looks for you. That's what really matters. And we can look for what matches your desires and what's going to work for you.
We are Alan Victoria Pinder, real estate agent in Greenville, Winterville, and Pitt County, North Carolina. We are here to help you. And here is all of our video playlists about everything that you need to know about the area. Please subscribe in our channel to support us and write us the message. We love to hear your story, and see you and talk to you soon.